I just introduced myself in my traditional name, which is White Bear Woman. My name was given to me by a group of elders in Sturgeon Lake. They gave me the name White Bear Woman because they said I resembled love. Working in the field that I'm working in with children, they said I had a lot to give, and so I'm very honored to carry my name. We are sitting in my office. I work with the Northern Saskatchewan Indigenous Teacher Education Program on my home reservation of LaFleur's Indian Band. I'm starting to identify more as an artist and actualizing the potential in the stories that I'm able to share with my skirts. My grandmother had a dog, and her dog's name was Duke. She loved her dog, and so she would share stories about how a long time ago, how dogs had many purposes and how well respected they were. And she would tell me about how at nighttime, when it was a crisp winter night, she said they would stand outside to listen for the grandfathers or her father that would go out on these hunts. And she said they would stand outside and listen for the dogs barking. And she said, and sometimes you can hear the dogs for miles. And she said, and it was always a really exciting time when you can hear the dogs coming because you knew there was fresh food coming. And so when I did the skirt, I thought about her story and growing up on the land without technology and without, I guess, the conveniences we have now, and how wonderful it must have been. The Northern Lights, I was always told from my grandmother, were our ancestors coming and dancing for us. When I had bought the fabric, that's kind of what it reminded me of. And so I wanted to kind of incorporate how, I guess, my ancestors in so many ways are still sharing their stories with me, and they're still dancing with us and still guiding us in so many ways. You know, sometimes I'll just have the fabric sitting around, and it kind of works its own magic on what it's supposed to become. Everywhere we look, there's stories to be told. I mean, I don't have to interact even with humans to find a story. I can interact with fire, I can interact with nature, and there's stories to be found around us. And I think appreciating those stories gives us a more of appreciation for our environment and for animals and the spaces that we share. When you're wearing the skirt, it kind of, it draws attention. And I think, you know, people want to know, like, you know, what's on your skirt. And it kind of opens the door for conversation and for learning to take place. And I think that's pretty special. It's finding identity, and when I wear the skirt, it's not like, I don't specifically call mine ribbon skirts because I'm not versed in the history of the ribbon skirt. However, the ribbons do identify that, you know, it's something Indigenous about myself, and I feel proud to, like, share the strength of the Nihilel people, that after everything that's happened in history, we've been casualties of oppression and racism and everything that comes with that, and we're still here, like, we're still thriving. And there's a richness in that. There has to be a coexistence between humanity and our environment and our plants and our animals. And I was always taught growing up that humanity was actually like the little guy on the island, and that we were very, very interdependent on the animals and the plants. And it's our job, like, to be stewards of those animals and plants.